On this, let's bring in Payton, staff writer for the Federalist, and Alexander Acker-Lyons, former director of the Youth Engagement Fund at the Democracy Alliance and a former National Youth Outreach Director for John Kerry's presidential campaign. Good of both of you to be here. Bree, let's start with this. President Obama slamming Marco Rubio. What is this all about?
Yeah, so basically he's hitting Marco Rubio for once running against Donald Trump and then now endorsing him, which I find this attack to be terribly ironic given that President Obama ran campaign ads basically calling Hillary Clinton a liar in 2008, and now he's doing stump speeches for her and has endorsed her for president. And we know that he isn't doing this because he likes her, because in Hillary Clinton's emails, it indicates that she was routinely excluded from cabinet meetings while she was Secretary of State because they just didn't like having her around. So he's doing this now and delivering stump speeches and helping her out to help out his own party and to keep the Democrats in control of the White House. So I think...
Alexander, let's listen to the president in his own words, calling Marco Rubio one of those people. Listen.
I'm even more confused by Republican politicians who still support Donald Trump. Marco Rubio is one of those people. How does that work? How can you call him a con artist and dangerous and object to all the controversial things he says and then say, but I'm still going to vote for him? Come on, man.
Alexander?
Look, I think the president really made the case better than I ever could in that Marco Rubio, who has said not only that Donald Trump is dangerous and that he doesn't trust him with the nuclear codes, has still supported Donald Trump, who's attacked the Gold Star family, who has said reprehensible things about women, and is still out there just a man out for himself, looking out for his own job, who has said when he ran for president that he did not enjoy being a senator, an abysmal attendance record in the Senate, and now is asking the voters of Florida to send him back to a job he doesn't even like. So President Obama has really come out to make the case as to why Hillary needs a Democratic Senate, and that's what we're going to hear from the Clinton campaign over these closing weeks as well.
And Bree, Paul Ryan has something to say about this. He has tweeted about it, saying, I was among the first to endorse Marco Rubio during his first Senate run, and I'm proud to stand with him again. Bree, is this a fight for the Senate that we're witnessing here with this exchange with the president?
Oh, definitely. And I think it is true that Donald Trump has made it trickier for Republicans down ballot to regain control of the Senate. And I also think it's telling that most of the people in Senate are kind of keeping their heads down and not commenting on this issue one way or another. So I think that the GOP is very much concerned about whether or not they're going to be able to keep control over the House and the Senate.
All right, and the Big Al Smith dinner was last night, and I want to get your take on a couple exchanges that took place there. It was all in good fun and some tasteful humor, but then there were some interesting jokes that took place. Watch this.
Hillary is so corrupt. She got kicked off the Watergate Commission. How corrupt do you have to be to get kicked off the Watergate Commission? Pretty corrupt.
People look at the Statue of Liberty and they see a proud symbol of our history as a nation of immigrants, a beacon of hope for people around the world. Donald looks at the Statue of Liberty and sees a 4. Maybe a 5 if she loses the torch and tablet and changes her hair.
Harsh. There was certainly some booing in the room, Alexandra.
There was. I was actually quite shocked that Donald Trump got booed by the New York establishment, the very establishment he's tried his whole life to break into. And I think that's what so much of this campaign is about, just the egomaniacal nature of him never quite being accepted. He did, I think, cross the line with a lot of those jokes last night.
But then, Bree, we see them at this exchange here, and they actually did end up shaking hands. And, you know, I was there, and I watched them in between other speeches and eating dinner, and they were speaking with the cardinal between them. And it did appear that they had a cordial exchange for the most part. Bree?
Yeah, the cardinal between them, though, later then said that they had kind of an awkward chemistry together and that things were really tense. I also think it's really interesting that Donald Trump is the one who got booed when Hillary Clinton's people are the ones who have been saying really nasty things about Catholics, which she still hasn't apologized for, by the way.
Come on.
As a Christian, I find it really alarming that Hillary Clinton does surround herself with people who are so hostile to religion. And I think a lot of other voters should be alarmed by that.
All right.
Hillary is a much more devout Christian than Donald Trump could ever pretend to be.
Well, on that note, ladies, I think we'll end it there. There was some nice exchanges last night. It is always about a little bit of humor from the candidates, but it did take a turn at a couple points from both candidates. Thanks to both of you for joining us. Good to have you.
Thank you.